welcome back to my channel. I am here with my hubby today. We are going to share our 5 top tips for how to budget on one income, and specifically how we've gotten to a place of somewhat of what I'd say financial freedom, and also more discipline in our finances. This has been a highly requested video over on my Instagram over the last couple of months. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you guys should. The link will be in my description below. And if you guys enjoy these kinds of videos with information and budgeting tips, hopefully this is helpful. Give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below to my channel. If you guys are new, we would love to have you a part of our family. And let's go ahead and dive into this video. So step 1 is assessing your finances.
Assessing your finances, what we mean by that is like figuring out where you stand currently. Get all of your stuff together, sit down with your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, sit down and look at your finances. Pull up all your credit card records, bank statements, all that good stuff. Pull it together, figure out what your everyday cost is or every month cost is and what you're making currently, and just figure that out because you need to know where you stand before you can make a plan. So that's kind of like a really important thing to do.
So to touch on that as well, knowing where your money is going is a big thing. I mean, you can assess your budget and know what your essentials, like your electricity bill, your rent, your whatever, your mortgage, whatever that is, but also just assessing how much you spend on food, what you spend on extra money. Maybe it's coffee for you, maybe it's shopping at Target, maybe it's something entirely different, maybe it's medical bills, maybe it's a necessity, but really evaluating where all of your money is going so that you can have a finite answer of what you need to do to structure a better financial plan. Number 2 is to set your goals. Why are you doing X to result in Y? And that's something that I think you should talk about too.
I think it's like this, just like when saying setting your goals, why are you wanting to be on a budget? It's because you want to have one income and have a family and that kind of stuff. Like that is your goal, right? Yeah. So then you need to be able to figure out what you need to hit to make that happen. So you need to set these goals. So it can get, you need to just make sure you have a clear line of sight on those goals. Yeah. And then we need to find agreement on the goals. Yeah, so we talked about this before in our engagement story, just briefly. So something we did when we got engaged was we created a budget, actually, a day after we got engaged, of what our expenses were going to be, how much we were going to be making approximately, and then also medical expenses, because I'm a type 1 diabetic, so we had to add that on top of our expenses. So if you also have medical issues and you need that extra care into your budget, make sure that you calculate that into your budget, because that really contributes a lot to your spending, unfortunately. I know what you're saying.
So step number 3 is to compromise everything. And
I feel like I have a good relationship with compromise because here's the idea. It's like compromise means like, okay, you're gonna have to fix something or give up something, but at the same time, you're not getting rid of that thing. It's finding a middle ground.
True, no, that's a good point.
It feels like compromise, okay, yes, I have to give up something that I want, but also it's not all the way gone. We're finding a compromise. It's a middle ground.
No, that's good.
So, you know, in a relationship, it is a lot of compromise and so finding a middle ground.
Yeah, no, that's good. So in budgeting specifically, something that we've really come to realize is that we have to prioritize our needs before our wants.
So 2 years ago, we had one income.
So 2016.
And it was super stressful, of course, because it was like something new and we haven't done it before. And
Wyatt was employed elsewhere as well. So his current job is not where he was at that point.
So going down to one income 2 years ago, and it's, you know, being pregnant for the first time and then having one income for the first time was very stressful. But like you had to kind of figure out what are non-essentials and what is essential for you, and finding those places where you're gonna, you know, say I'm gonna cut that because we need to save. So it's finding those things that are non-negotiables and negotiables where you can like cut things, or you say this is non-negotiable, I gotta keep this.
So that's where the compromise comes in. So something that I'm going to use as an example is, this is something very petty and I'm not proud of this, but it's the truth. We used to spend a buttload of money on Starbucks or coffee. Who doesn't? But realistically, we spent probably $100 a month.
I think before it was like $160.
Okay, maybe it was more than that. $160 a month on coffee. Now here's the thing. We were in a place when I was working to be able to do that freely without even having to consider it. As soon as we went cold turkey to one income, that was a decision we had mutually talked about, we had been planning, we had made. However, no matter how much you plan and how much effort you make, it's going to be a huge transition into becoming one income. So for us, we decided, okay, cold turkey, we're not buying coffee anymore. period. We stopped buying coffee. It's a matter of tracking that spending and being really diligent about that, and then making those intentional compromises that will transform the outcome of your potential for savings and for those comfort zones. If you have an end goal, maybe it's starting a family, maybe it's buying a new house, maybe it's buying a used car, whatever it looks like for you, maybe it's school loans that you want to pay off. It's a matter of figuring out those little things that on a day-to-day basis, they add up, they accumulate, and they cause you a lot of stress. I know that this is something going off track here, but I wanted to mention this, especially in your relationship and in your marriage. Finances can be one of the number ones that can disrupt your relationship. So I would advise, no matter how good your finances are, continue to make them good, because that will make your marriage so much richer and better. The more you communicate about where you want your dreams to go and where you want your money to go, it's going to make you closer, and it's going to make your finances flourish, truly. Like, we've learned that the hard way in some areas, and also we've been blessed in a lot of areas and worked hard in a lot of areas of our marriage. So I would just suggest that as well. And then moving on from the whole compromise point, because I think we've gotten that point across. Okay, so another thing that I would recommend for setting goals is to make sure that you have either written out your budget with your spouse or your boyfriend or whoever, or your girlfriend, or printing it out and having it in your eyesight. So on your fridge, on your blackboard, put it up there so that you can see it on a daily basis, so that you can remind yourself and stimulate your brain to actually putting action to your words and to your intentions, because that's the hardest part, is actually remembering those goals on a day-to-day basis. So I would highly recommend having it in your sight. And also, something that Wyatt and I do are weekly meetings. So to reassess our goals, to reassess our budget for the week's spendings or potential spendings, we always like to talk about that. So I would also suggest doing it weekly. And I know that this sounds like it takes a lot of work, because it does. It's just the truth. If you really want to have a set budget, you want to have goals in place, and you want to achieve your dreams and really grow your family in a way that doesn't stress your marriage, you have to put in the work. It's like anything else in life. So budgeting isn't going to be any different. So number 4, we are going to be talking about something that we are really passionate about, and also that we're still learning.
Side hustles. Talk about that. So side hustles can be anything. Literally anything you can do to make money. Whether it be picking up mowing lawns. I kid you not, every place I have ever lived, I've tried to offer to mow lawns to make money.
It's true.
I just do it.
It's true.
You just do it, because you know what? Like on a Saturday afternoon, you're not doing anything, mow a lawn, take some money off rent. Like, just offer that. Your landlord will take you up on it, because then they don't have to come over and mow the lawn. Just a thought.
Okay, so we're talking about side hustles, and side hustle basically means that we're choosing to take on projects, either freelance, or Wyatt actually owns a web design company. And what he has done over the last 4 years, well actually 3 years of our marriage, he's owned his own business, he's contracted work out across the United States actually, not just in Washington State, and he's done projects, both web related, you've done a lot of design projects. So Wyatt owns his own business. A lot of you guys may not know that. So we have what we would call a supplementary income to our primary income, which is his full-time job. So go ahead and talk about that a little bit, maybe?
Yep, so I mean, that is kind of self-explanatory. I'm just doing like web design stuff, but it also kind of, on the idea of hustling and just doing side work, it can grow into other things, which is growing into some graphic design and newsletter, that kind of stuff. But like, you do that, so, but for me, that works.
Yeah.
For you, that might not be your calling, that might not be what you're passionate about. I'm passionate about, I enjoy it, but everyone's got something.
He's good at it, and that's the thing.
Everyone's got something, and you can find something, you can find a skill that you have that's marketable, and you can make money off of it.
Preach it. Preach it.
It's there.
Yeah.
You just need to find what makes you, what's interesting to you, and then find out how to sell it.
Yeah, so here's something I want to speak to. So Wyatt is very motivational. He can get behind his desires and just do it. And I really appreciate that about him. He's very self-motivated, which is something I'm working on, because I'm not naturally, I kind of doubt myself. So if you are in a place where you're like, that just sounds like so much work, and I'm speaking to moms right now, because trust me, when you are home with a child, a baby who is just on you all day long, it's a completely different environment. And so I just want to say that you can do what you're good at even while being a mom. If that's what you feel a little nudge to do or push to do, go for it. Something that I did when I was pregnant with Opal, I decided that I was going to basically do freelance work. So I actually worked online for an online magazine for a little while. I published articles through a local community newspaper. And then I also did 2 social media projects. So I chose to use things that I thought that I had strengths in and contribute a pretty good amount to our income while being pregnant for the first 6 months of my pregnancy, which was incredible. So the point is that you need to find your niche. You need to find what you're good at and go for it. If you are really wanting to create more financial freedom in your life, you can't depend on someone else to make your income happen. I mean, and I'm talking about even an employer. You can have the best job out there, but you could still be making more money through doing something that you're good at. Does that make sense? So like I said, we have a supplementary business to our income. Wyatt does that full time, and I've done little projects through his business as well. But on top of that, I chose to reach out, put myself out there. We're gonna talk about this in a different video because this is something that we're really excited to talk about. Yeah, we're going too far into it. But the point is to find other ways to supplement your primary income. Okay, so number 5 is one of my favorite things ever to talk about because I get asked about this all the time over on Instagram and I'm very passionate about it. So this is about our lifestyle. Like Wyatt mentioned, we live in Washington State and Washington State is very expensive as far as living goes. So cost of living here is pretty high, and Google it. So we have chosen a, if you will, quote unquote, minimalist lifestyle. And what we mean by that is we don't frivolously spend our money on items, meaning our house, honestly, we have a couch, we have a bed, we have a crib, we have a table, and we have a few chairs. Literally pretty much it in our house. And when we filmed our house tour, we actually were told that it looks like a bachelor pad, probably because it's fairly empty. And the reasoning behind that isn't because we don't have money, and it isn't because we don't want things, but rather things are not our priority in our lives. We want to work hard, we want to love people, and we want our home to be our sacred place.
I think, yeah, so on the note of practical living, I think tips, things that, like for example, we try to eat out once a week. Like that's kind of the thing, like eat out once a week, maybe twice if something crazy is going on, but like keep it to that.
And we're even talking about fast food, guys. We're talking about Taco Bell, we're talking about wherever it is you choose to eat.
And then it comes down to like entertainment, you know, subscription services, like keep that minimal. Like a practical way is you can have one. You don't need 3 or 4. There's lots of options out there, like shop around, find a good deal on something, and use that. You don't need all the entertainment under the world. Like one platform offers a lot.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how many options are truly out there. There are so many ways that you can practically live that don't break your budget. And it's just a matter of really doing your research and really learning about ways that you can save money, whether it's through using apps, maybe it's through using newspaper clippings, maybe it's coupons, maybe it's something even simple like Wyatt said, cutting back to one entertainment outlet versus having 3 or 4, or maybe it's giving up, you know, certain items that really are repetitively racking up money in your account. And so this kind of goes into another area, but go ahead.
It kind of ties back into the first one, which is assessing your finances. When you do that, this kind of ties into this now. It's like locate and identify where you're spending money repeatedly and then say, look at this. Is there a way that I can save money? For us, it was Starbucks. We stopped doing that. We bought a coffee machine and we started making coffee at home. So yes, there's a little bit more upfront cost to like buying a machine, but now we have the machine and we're able to make a latte for like $1.25 at home compared to a $5 latte. Yeah, and unused subscriptions. Make sure you check and see what you have going. I'm horrible at this. I like to sign up for free accounts on places, try this stuff out, and then forget about it, and then Piper tells me there's a charge in the credit card.
Because I handle our finances. So when I say I handle our finances, I review our accounts, I schedule payments, I put the rent check out, I take care of medical bills, I make sure that our insurance premiums are paid, things like that. I handle that. So yeah, making sure that you are on top of your subscriptions. If you don't have a designated person in your relationship who handles the reoccurring finances, decide who that is, or maybe you mutually both want to do it on a weekly basis, but make sure someone is doing it. If there's not someone doing it and you're not being conscious about it, it's just not a good place to be. So a couple of different things that we wanted to talk about were little ways, practical ways that we could encourage you guys to save money. I mean, so you mentioned the subscription thing. Something that I want to mention is when you own a vehicle, you pay for car insurance, obviously. Something that you may not know is you can shop around for car insurance. And a lot of you probably do know that, but really figuring out what you actually need for your car insurance, like what actually is covered in your insurance, is really important. You can save a ton of money by shopping around for car insurance. So I'd highly recommend looking into that. Put your best effort forward and make sure that you're disciplining your area in ways that could be easier and better for your family long term. That's something else that I think we've learned, is that immediate wants in our budget. Maybe that's a new t-shirt from Target. Maybe that's a pair of cute booties for Opal, our daughter. Maybe it's
Gucci belts.
Gucci belts, yeah, if we want to be big out there. But basically what we're trying to say is immediate wants should take last priority to necessities. From a humble standpoint of, hey guys, this is what we know, this is what we have, take it as it is. Don't think that we have it all together, because we don't. We're figuring it out. But what's cool about this opportunity to share on this platform is that we can talk about what we are learning in hopes to encourage you, and maybe you can encourage us. Leave us a comment down below of something that you do to budget, to save money, or to help your family.
We're always looking for new ideas, so please do share.
Yeah, because it's super vital. Something that I don't think is talked about enough is finances, and in a public place. And I'm not saying everybody should be talking about how much money they're making, quote unquote, or how much they're spending, but I think that overall talking about budgeting is so important, and so I'm just really passionate about it. Wyatt's also really passionate about
as you can see
this
by my
as well.
face.
So practical tips: buy your essentials in bulk. So I know, for instance, Sam's Club and Costco, those are the top two that are coming to my mind right now. Buy your toilet paper in bulk for 3 months is what it lasts. Ew. For 3 months, it usually lasts us about a quarter. And so to stock up on our essentials like toilet paper, paper towels, we like to do K-cups, we like to do diapers and wipes from Costco. So I would highly recommend doing that if you haven't already, because it will save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of distraction. Part of the problem is when you have these little things, you want to go to Target and you want to buy a package of diapers, you probably end up picking up a bag of Skittles or maybe a new shirt or something. The point is that you're trying to limit your ability to be distracted with your money and be impulsive. So to me, when I go to Costco at the beginning of my quarter of the month, whatever it is, the beginning of the month, to buy our essentials, it helps me with that. Something that we've shifted our mindset from. So again, this kind of ties into the consumerism issue. This is huge. It's a big issue. Do you want to talk about what you told me the other day, the statistic?
Yes. Well, it's
or the article.
Yeah. This idea is the idea of avoiding name brands. So we're talking about buying the non-name brand. You know. So my example, I talked to Piper about this the other day. My example is smartphones. So like Apple, the new iPhone, I think it costs like $1,300 to get the new iPhone. So that's pricey. It's awesome technology, but pricey. But with smartphones, the technology is getting so good that even the competitors now, where they're charging $500, their technology is on par almost with Apple's. The operating system obviously isn't, iOS, but it's using Android. It's comparable. So like you're paying for this name, this image, and if you can detach yourself from that, there's a lot of power in that. Like there's a lot of power in just saying, no, I don't need name brand. Yeah. This is name brand, but I got this at like
TJ Maxx
for like $4. Say no to the name brand. Don't pay the extra price. Why? There's no.
I mean, that's like essentially shopping at an outlet.
There's just literally no value.
Yeah.
In a now.
And don't get me wrong, we're not bashing people who do this by any means. We're talking.
Tie into that.
Yeah, we're talking about a lifestyle shift, right? So we're not knocking people who do this. So please, if you do this, don't think that we're doing that. But this is how we're choosing to shift our finances and our way of thinking. When it comes to things like furniture, we do prefer to make sure that we buy quality, real wood, real pieces of furniture that are going to last us 10 years, right? Because that is something you're investing in. A t-shirt that's Gucci or Nike or whatever the heck it is that the name brand is, it's gonna last you maybe a year, maybe a couple months, and you'll be sick of it and you won't wanna wear it. Making disciplinary decisions in your life is empowering. It can be your budget, it can be anything else, but it is going to empower you to do things outside of the box, to do things differently, and to be confident in who you are and your abilities to guide your family, to change the world around you and to influence people in a light that can be truly helpful. So that's what I would have to say about that as far as my views on consumerism.
But like you were talking about the furniture, yes, there are going to be some things where you don't want to compromise on, and that's between you and your partner and you and your wife, whatever, to say that, you know what?
You find those things for you.
This is something I can't compromise on. This is something that I need to buy this type of, this brand or whatever, and it's okay to have that, but I'm talking on a whole here, like, you know, the 90% or something like that. Avoid the name brand, just go generic. Nobody's gonna care that you're not wearing X brand. Like, it just doesn't matter. Yeah. It does not matter.
Yeah, and again, this is our personal opinion at this point in our lives, and we truly stand by it. I mean, it's something that we're learning. So take that with a grain of salt. Know that we are just sharing tidbits that have helped us and that we feel are viable.
So this one is kind of on the same note of not buying name brands. It's like not buying into the idea that you need to prove things to people, and it's kind of keeping up with the Joneses idea of like, if somebody else buys X, I need to buy X so I can look good too, you know, that kind of thing. It's hard to do because pride is like, you know, all of us, and we all want to be cool, quote unquote. And so living within your means, not trying to front, not trying to stunt, not trying to raise the roof all the time, you know what I'm saying? You got to kind of just find what works for you, live comfortably. And if that means not renting or not buying the nicest house on the block, don't do it. Your means will grow, and in a couple years time, you'll have the next level up or whatever you want, you know? Okay,
so here's our 5-step recap, guys. Number 1 is to assess your finances. Step number 2 is to set your goals, challenge yourself, do what's best for your family, and make those things happen. Number 3 is to compromise your immediate wants for your long-term goals. That is power. Number 4 is side hustles. Figure out what the heck it is you're good at and try to put it into a way you can make money.
We're gonna make a video on that.
We're gonna make a whole video on this because,
it's bomb.
Honey, it is bomb. Okay, number 5 is practical tips for living on one income. So we talk a lot about that. Follow some of those steps. Tell us what you guys think. Leave us a comment below. We'd love to chat.
Yeah, tell us what you guys do to save
money.
Tell
us what you guys do.
I wanna know.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Genuinely, I really appreciate the time that you guys take to watch these videos, and my goal for my channel is to really be helpful and to provide insight and to remember that we are not perfect people. Like, we are just figuring it out. We are doing our best, and we're working our butts off to create the best outcome for our family and for our life. Yeah,
and we're learning too as we go. So what we're sharing is what is worked for us and what we've found success in. But there's new things we're gonna learn tomorrow and the next day that will change.
Hopefully we can share those with you guys.
Share with us too. We want to know.
Share with us.
It's
Seriously.
a learning experience that goes both ways. So.
Yeah, and we're about community too. Like, this channel, I want it to be about community. I want us to be able to learn from each other, like I said. So leave us a comment. Get involved if you guys aren't subscribed. Ask questions. Seriously, if you guys want to see more videos like this,
we're pretty open.
We're super open. Like, I mean, I think we're probably gonna get more and more open as we do this, so stay tuned, guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will see you guys in my next one, and thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a big thumbs up if you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.